What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. As you can tell by the title, it's a weird one. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to read tarot cards from a deck of playing cards. This was one of my many prison hustles, so I'm gonna break all of that down for you guys today. But before we get started, y'all already know I am not glorifying or glamorizing going to jail or prison. There's nothing cool, fun, or funny about it. It is my hope that in sharing my story, it'll deter you guys from making the same mistakes I made. However, today is a fun video. I throw them in occasionally. That does not mean that I think it's cool to go to prison. Just want to throw that in there. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I have a brand new deck of cards that I have not opened. Now, when you're in jail, you have to occupy your mind to make the time go by as fast as possible. Time moves at a different pace when you're in jail and in prison. It's just different, and time moves differently in jail and prison. Two different things in America. So you have to occupy your mind. Some decide to write in a journal or write a book or work on a project. Some decide to do art. Some decide to hustle. If y'all are brand new and you don't know, I was a hustler. I would hustle in a lot of different ways, one of them being tarot card reading. So I basically just took my knowledge of tarot cards and I applied them to a playing deck of cards. Now, I am not an expert at all, but this was a very lucrative business for me on the inside. Basically every single person, whether they liked me or not, they wanted their tarot cards read to them. And it was something that I enjoyed doing. I'm very good with a deck of cards. I'm really good at card tricks, and I am decent at reading tarot cards. Now, this is something that I learned to do in the street just out of sheer morbid curiosity. I was studying astrology in my spare time as an addict. But I like to learn things. I've always been very analytical. I've always been so curious, and I've always studied things that I found interesting. And when I was about 16, I was obsessed with astrology and I was really into it. So my friend Bimo gave me his book on the zodiac signs, and I was just obsessed with them and how accurate they seemed. So that is when I got into tarot cards. Please keep in mind here, I have not done this in a very long time. I'm also not an expert. I have very basic level skills as far as tarot card readings, but I was pretty good at it while I was practicing. Now, it's been years since I've done this, so I'm just going to apply the things that I already know. Okay, let's start with the Joker. Every deck has a Joker, and let me just put in here that there are a lot more cards in a tarot deck than there are a playing deck. There are 78 cards in a tarot deck, and there are 52 cards in a playing deck. So here, we're not going to be able to use the major arcana. We're only going to be able to use the minor arcana. Just to confuse you, the Fool is a major arcana card. Now, I have seen other people doing this in jail during my time in and out of jails and then prison. And some people would choose to take the Joker out. Some people would choose to leave it in. I leave it in. I think the Joker tells us a lot in our fake little world of tarot cards, but the Joker tells us a lot. The Joker is the Fool in a tarot card, and usually that means that the person is very inexperienced or green, and I would always translate certain things, and we'll get into that, but I would always translate certain cards to a prison setting. So the Fool just means maybe you're brand new to prison, you've never been to prison before, you're new, you're very inexperienced in this world or in this setting. So the Joker is an important card because it's the Fool, so I'm gonna talk like it's a tarot card. It's kind of a weird name for it because it doesn't mean you're foolish or dumb necessarily. I mean, it depends on how you interpret it, but to me, the Fool just means that there's a lot of potential there. You're brand new, you're really young. Things like that is what the Fool represents, so I always left it in there. I actually really like that card. So yeah, I believe tarot cards, I think this is the first major card, so there would be a 0 at the top of the Fool, if I remember correctly, meaning that there's a lot of potential, or meaning that it was the first in the major deck. I'm really rusty. Okay, so there are 2 Jokers. Okay, then we have Ace. Now, in a playing deck, Ace is a valuable card because it's like a high card, but because it's a tarot card, it means nothing. No, it just means 1. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and 4 in all of the suits, and we're starting with spades. Spades is a sword. So there are 4 suits in tarot cards, and they are cups, wands, swords, and pentacles. Now, we have our number 1, and we use spades as our swords. Now this is also air sign, so that is Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini are the air signs, and that is the zodiac that the sword rules. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up, and they all represent something differently, and I'm not gonna go through all of that, but I'm just gonna give you guys like a basic how I would read these cards to people. So Ace of Spades is 1 of swords, and it is our air sign. Then we have diamonds. Now this is gonna represent the pentacle card. Pentacles are earth signs. So Virgo, which is me, Taurus, and Capricorn, they are earth signs. Now pentacles is the materialistic card in the suit. Now this can mean career, this can mean money, how much money do you have, or how much money are you going to possess. That is what the diamond card is going to be in a tarot card reading, is going to be pentacles. So then we have our clubs, and that is our fire signs. Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. Now fire signs, they are passionate, they're fiery. So for me, I just always remember that as passion and fire and fireworks. And basically what clubs mean here, there are wands, and they are going to be our passionate ones, our motivated ones, the hard workers, the people that have drive. And there are positive and negatives in every single suit. So it depends on what the other cards are laid out as far as what that means. But just a really good reference here. They're passionate. They're the hard workers. They're the ones that are on the rec yard working out every single day, or writing their book every single day, or working on a project every single day. They're very passionate about whatever it is that they're doing. Then we finally get to our hearts, and this is going to be our cup card. These are our water signs, so Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and it's a heart, so that is going to be love. Like, your cup runneth over with love, boo-boo. So that's just a really good way to remember the cup card. So if we get into the other cards, king is always going to be king, queen is the queen, and then the joker is the knight. 1 of diamonds. Now remember, the ace is the 1. The 1 of diamonds might be a new job assignment. Maybe you're gonna get a job in the kitchen or a job in the library. No, people that are not lifers don't get jobs in the library. That's a coveted position, but maybe you're gonna get a new job assignment. Maybe you're gonna get transferred to a new job. So 1 of pentacles would be a new job assignment. Maybe you're gonna work in laundry. It's a bad one. The 6 of cups, or 6 of hearts, that's gonna be our love card. Maybe it is a marriage proposal, or maybe that girl that you like is gonna ask you to be her girlfriend. And remember, I would always relate it back to prison in some way, so maybe your boyfriend is gonna propose to you. Maybe there's gonna be a marriage proposal, but maybe that girl that you like likes you back. So this card is our rivalry card. It's a really hard word to say. So challenge, someone might challenge you to something. This could be a negative or a positive depending on the other cards in the suit or in the reading. So challenge card. Maybe I'm gonna challenge you to a duel. I don't know. You do not want to get this card in my tarot card reading, because this is 8 of swords. This is the isolation card. So this is like a self-imposed isolation, but in prison, this is gonna be like a loss of privileges maybe. You got written up and you're going to seg. It could be a couple of different things depending on the other cards, like I said. This is a good card to have. Usually diamonds or our pentacle cards are good cards to have. The 9 is financial gain. So maybe someone's gonna send you some money for your books. It's a good card to have. Or maybe you're gonna find a new hustle, like reading tarot cards with playing cards, but there's some kind of financial gain in your future, so this is a good card to draw. Okay, last one. 10 of wands or clubs. This is our stress card. There's some kind of stressor happening. There's some kind of future exhaustion that's gonna happen. So this is also not really a good card, depending on what the rest of the spread says. So yeah, I would always transition that into jail. So, you know, maybe there's gonna be a fight or some stress, or maybe something might go missing. So, you know, I would always kind of translate it into the setting that we were in to make it a prison tarot card reading. So every single card has a meaning, you know, and you just have to lay them all out for the people and do your little tarot card reading. And a really important thing in a tarot card reading is feeling the conversation. So depending on what the girl wanted to know in jail, or depending on the questions that she was asking, her body language and how she was feeling, I would kind of go off of, yes, use the cards as a reference. I would also kind of just make sure that I'm reading it and interpreting it the way that I feel it in that moment. Now, I am no expert, but this is something that people just wanted to know. They wanted to know what their future holds, or what they're going to be sentenced to if it's in a county jail, or what's going on with, you know, life in and out of prison. A lot of women have tons of questions, and as they're asking me these questions, and as I'm looking at the cards as a reference, I would give them just a really quick tarot card reading with my predictions of things based on my knowledge of tarot cards. This is very limited because you're only using the minor arcana. So to me, this was just really fun to do and really fun to share my knowledge, however small, with the women that were in prison. And it was just like a really cool thing for me to do. I've seen women that really believed in this stuff. Now, I don't really believe in it. I just thought it was fun and it was a good hustle, and I made a lot of money doing this. But there are some women that truly just believe every single card. They believe in astrology so much, and that is what, you know, that's their personal belief system. So I did have a couple of situations where women were not happy with their tarot card reading because maybe they had a different working knowledge of the cards, or maybe they interpreted the cards a little bit differently. Now, that didn't happen a lot. There was only a couple of situations where they just either didn't like the reading, or they were upset about the reading, or it didn't go the way that they thought it was going to go. So yeah, there's always situations like that. Like, another prison hustle that I had was cutting hair, and I would usually do stud broads hair. So women that wanted a fade. I'm really good at fades. So I would do fades, and you know, learning how to do a fade took me a little bit of time, and I messed up some haircuts. It was the same as when I was doing eyebrows. So you would thread eyebrows with string, and I messed up people's eyebrows a few times the string got away from me and they would get upset. So you have to keep in mind here, this is a prison hustle. And people get pissed off in prison, and you can fight over the dumbest things, like a tarot card reading gone wrong. So if that's not motivation to not break the law, I really don't know what is. You know what I mean? So if you guys want to see me actually perform a tarot card reading, I can do that on Reese, or Christina Randall is coming to visit me soon, so that would be kind of a fun video to do with her. I have another friend coming to visit soon. Her name is Megan. I will link her channel down below as well. She is coming to visit me soon, and I can't wait to meet her and Greg in person and film some videos for you guys. So we have a lot of content coming up, but I wanted to throw in this very, very pointless video on how to read a tarot card reading with a deck of playing cards. So if you guys like these kinds of videos, please let me know in the comment section down below, and I would be happy to make more prison hustles, or maybe a whole tarot card reading of someone else. If you guys want to see that, let me know. I really hope you guys enjoyed this fun, laid back video. I love you guys. Stay safe, stay sober, do not break the law. You can do this in the street. And I will see you in my next one. This card is our rivalry. These are water signs, so Pisces. So if we get into the other cards, King is always going to be Queen,